You did a whole feature on Top5 and GGG, the Go Get 'Em gang. What's interesting is that Top5 actually texted me this morning and said, let's do this interview. But I've gotten like 3 texts like this at this point in a conversation. Because as some of you may know, I was supposed to do a Top5 interview. He asked for $6,000 to do the interview. I said, cool, but he wanted $3,000 up front, which I really never do. But we were on the phone multiple times on FaceTime. He assured me that he's doing it. So I sent him the deposit. He continued to FaceTime me every day leading up to the day of the interview. So I felt confident that it was actually going to happen. It's not like he took the money then just disappeared. So we booked the studio. We hired the cameraman. And then on the day of the interview, he just completely disappeared. Completely disappeared. So I had done an interview. Well, when I interviewed Wack, I had Wack interview me and talk about this. But then like he hit me up like right after, like right before the interview dropped. It was like, yo, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. It didn't happen. So I put the interview out. And then like, for example, people like Danza Project reached out to me and he was like, yo, the exact same thing happened to me.
No way.
Yeah. He flew out to Toronto.
Oh.
And on the day of the interview, he just disappeared. Same kind of thing. So, and this is why it's important to put out stuff like this, right? Because other content creators who are working with, the top 5s of the world need to know that, hey, these guys don't really do good business. Like you ran off for $3,000. I basically was like, I'm not going to do nothing about it. I'm not going to sue you. I'm not going to press charges, whatever. You could take that. It's cool. I'll make it back on content. But it's just ridiculous because now you're seeing multiple stories come out and you're going to lose a lot more than $3,000 because people like me are putting this out there. And it's true. What are you going to say? That's not true. He never paid me? No, I gave him the money. It's cool. You can have it. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not telling on you. I'm not suing you. It's cool. You can have it. It's only $3,000. But like I said, when every so often, he'll, yo, let's do it. But then like he won't follow up with the actual this date, this time. I'm not going to pay him anymore. The back end is gone, right? That's gone. But I don't know, man. What's your take on that whole situation?
Man, I was super disappointed when I heard that.
Because it would have been a big interview. Everyone would have tuned into that.
It was going to be his comeback.
It was going to be his biggest interview ever. Let's just keep it 100, top 5. This was going to be your biggest interview ever. Well, I mean, the Kanye interview was pretty big. So
I think this would have been bigger.
You think it would have been bigger than the Kanye interview? When he put on the swastika chain? That was pretty big.
Yeah, because I feel like that was shadow banned, and also myself and a lot of other people ain't trying to hear what Kanye has to say with no swastika chain on.
All right, fair enough.
It's like, I feel like this would have actually been a more polished, clean, mainstream look for him. And I've got a good relationship with Top5, and when I told him in the lead up to that, yo, this Vlad interview is going to be a good look. Because I'd been on the phone with him after he had the incident. And I was just sending him well wishes, just being like, yo, look, you're going to bounce back. We're going to get back to the content, man. Like, glad you're recovering well. He was trying to set up an interview with Adam because you saw the interview with Adam drop, but that was before the incident. So he was trying to line up a part 2 with Adam. I was saying you got to do Vlad. I'm not saying I'm responsible, but it's like, I had little conversations with him here and there, and I had a good relationship with him. And I was telling him like, yo, you got to pop out, do these interviews. This is going to be a great look for you. And so when you told me that he didn't turn up to the interview, I was super disappointed because I'd spoken to him. He's like, yeah, I'm doing Vlad in whatever, a couple days.
Right, no, like leading up to it. Listen, I understand people run off with money, but he was literally every day FaceTiming me. So we were all under the impression that it's going to happen.
So was I. So, well, when that happened, I texted him afterwards and I texted you because I'd said, man, like you did Vlad dirty. Like you got to put that right, man. Because like, I'd like what you're saying to him is like, bro, these are like good relationships. That would have been the perfect comeback for you. That's what you need. Then you can get back to the music and the streaming. And he was like, yeah, I hear it. I'm going to put it right. So then you remember I texted you and I was like, look, Top5 said he's going to put it right. Like, unfortunately, he was gassing it up, and that was disappointing too. Because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I can be part of just setting this thing right and helping it. But you totally within your rights. If someone did that to me, it'd be like, bro, ain't no fixing that. Like, you blacklisted.
Well, the problem is that let's just say we reschedule it. I have to get another studio and another cameraman, and then he doesn't show up again. Now I'm another couple $1,000s in the hole because really I lost about $5,000 if you really think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on him. Like, shame on you. Yeah. Anyway, like, it just is really disappointing because I feel like that would have been really good momentum for him. Now, I did have a little bit of sympathy for him just because, look, he just got his neck cut. He's going through a lot. I know that the beef going on in Toronto is pretty serious. I know he lost a friend a little while before all that happened. And I'm not making excuses for him, but I feel like what I had hoped at the time is like maybe just some crazy shit had gone down that day and like he had just dropped the ball and he didn't really mean it. But I guess the way things developed from there weren't so good. I got love for Top 5. I want to see him do well. I know that a year has passed since his case got dropped, so he can't get charged again. So he kind of is like good on the murder now, and I feel like he needs to focus on like building his career up as a streamer. I've tapped into a couple of his live streams. I've called into one of his streams that he was doing, and I really feel like you were saying with Tekashi, I feel like Top 5 is somebody that I was hoping that he would sort of take this route and leave the streets behind, get into this streaming lane, get into this content thing, and show people, yo, you can leave that behind and do this positive thing. But yeah, no, that definitely was the wrong move. And, you know, I got love for Top 5. I got love for Presser. I know there's a whole beef between them. I interviewed Presser for Complex Con. Super, super nice guy. Rock with Presser. I love his music. And, you know, it's just so sad to have seen what's happened. As somebody that supported Toronto music and Toronto drill and, you know, covered Presser and his brother Boondog, who's just like legendary Toronto rapper and kind of street legend. Top 5, them having this whole situation where they scammed this guy allegedly Julian out of millions of dollars, and like they got this crazy life story that's just insane, and I really just want to see everybody from that city win. But you know, I know it's more complicated than that, so it's not as easy as just everyone squashing it, and things have definitely gone too far now. But yeah, that was just disappointing for me because I actually support Top 5, even though he is difficult and he causes a lot of problems for people. I feel like deep down he's like a Tekashi of Toronto. He's wilding. He's wild.
Tekashi of Toronto.
Not, yeah, like personality-wise, that's why I feel like I'm seeing
without the cooperation, of course.
Without the cooperation as well. But like 6ix9ine's got his excuses for that. So, but it's like I feel like their energy is very similar, and like I see 6ix9ine. He was in my interview. I think he was in yours as well, talking about like, oh, Top 5 got his head cut off. They had to sew his head back onto his body or whatever, being mad disrespectful. But it's like that's the type of troll shit like Top 5 would say about someone else. 6ix9ine and Top 5 would probably be the best of friends. Like, if we could somehow squash that beef and get them to make content together, that would be legendary. Sometimes it's like you find two guys and it's like they're so similar. It's like they're too similar. They just hate each other.
Yeah.
So,
look, man, I'll just say this to Top 5 because I know he's going to listen to this. I know that certain people, and I've dealt with people like this, they come from a culture of scamming, right? Where you somehow feel good about yourself because you got over on someone for a certain amount of money. I've been ripped off before. I've told the story of how I got ripped off for a kilo of cocaine, and it was like $17,000, and the guy probably felt like, oh, I got Vlad. But in the long run, Vlad became a multimillionaire, and he's still back in the Bay Area. I looked him up. He's not doing much, you know? So had you not done that, Vlad could have taken you along for the ride because you was like Vlad's best friend at that point. So I don't know whether like Top 5's instincts took over, like, ooh, I could take this guy for 3,000 and somehow this is a win in my book. But it's not a win. It's not a win because I can guarantee you, like I said, Danza called me right away. It was like, yo, this dude did the same thing to me. So now this story gets compounded. This guy rips off podcasters. What's the point of that? What's the point of that? You're not going to get any more down payments on interviews. They're going to be like, nah, you're going to do me like Vlad. Why would I do that? In fact, I don't want to do it at all. You're going to lose more than 3,000. And that's the whole thing. You got to look at life long term. You actually have a potential because of your association with Drake and everything else like that. Did he claim that he was Drake's shooter?
Yeah.
So he actually said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said it multiple times.
Multiple times?
Yeah, multiple times. That's been known. Like, him calling himself Drake Shooter is like legendary. That's like legendary viral moment from like before Top 5 went to jail the first time. Like he would be on hella streams with academics talking about I'm Drake Shooter. He's a troll though. That's the thing. He knows like, is he Drake shoot? He would shoot if Drake needed someone shot real quick. He would definitely do it. But I don't think he's actually. I feel like that's like a viral thing that he's doing. He's a shooter that's with Drake. You could say he's Drake's shooter. Like I don't think he's really. There's been rumors because there was a rumor that he was the one that shot up the Weeknd's house or the Weeknd's manager's house for Drake. He was actually locked up when that went down, so it's not true. But I feel like even it's like a funny meme for him to be like, yeah, I slid on the Weeknd for you or whatever. But it's like that's not really what's happening, as far as I'm aware. But Yeah, I agree with you, man. I just feel like it's unfortunate because a lot of people would, metaphorically, a lot of people would kill for a Vlad interview, you know? So it's like for him to even get off on you for 3,000, it's like he would have got another 3,000 and he would have got the Vlad interview, which really more valuable.
He didn't get his back end. So the fact that you didn't just show up that day and talk for a couple hours means that you lost an extra 3,000. It doesn't really make sense to me, but sometimes you just deal with people, they're just not logical. It doesn't matter. They'll do things that hurt themselves and you just can't figure out why. But then again, I'm a business person and not everyone is a business person. People function off of emotion and so forth, and maybe at that moment, I don't know. But
the most forgiving answer that I could give for that is that obviously that was really traumatic what he went through getting his neck cut. And
no, but we had been talking every day up to that point. It's not like, hey, I'm in the hospital and I can't really talk. Let's just push the interview back a month while I heal up. No, he was talking completely regularly.
No, but I'm coming at it more from a point of view. He hadn't popped out. I don't think he'd been seen, and I don't think he had been on camera since the incident at that point. And this is just like my most forgiving way that I can give it, of just like maybe he really just got cold feet, anxiety, just on some shit of like, bro, I don't know if I'm ready to pop out and talk about this. Maybe you're dealing with the trauma. I did notice when he did one of his live streams, he always popping it, dissing the ops, saying all this stuff, I'm Drake's shooter. But there was a moment on one of his first live streams back when he was at Dave & Buster's where he actually was like, oh, I'm going to talk about the stabbing. And I felt like his voice kind of cracks, and you can tell he going through some trauma talking about that. And it's like he talked about it real quick, and then he kind of moved on. But it's like, I'm quite observant when it comes to this stuff. I felt like that little 2 minutes where he talked about the stabbing on stream, I could see he was emotionally affected by it. And I feel like maybe it was some shit where it's like that. He'd been on camera a couple times in the lead up to that, but it's like, the most sensitive out there excuse that I could give for him was that like maybe it really was some shit where he just was thinking, bruh, I'm not ready to talk about this shit today. Like maybe that day came too quick. He just couldn't even get it. He couldn't even bring himself to tell you like, bruh, I'm going through trauma right now. I can't even bring myself to get on camera and talk about this. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too friendly to the guy, but yeah, I was disappointed because I wanted to see that happen, and I want nothing but the best for him, nothing but the best for Presser and all of them. Like I just want to see Canada win. I admire the city. Like I love Toronto music. Like there's been hella Toronto rappers that I've liked over the years. You know, your Houdinis. Obviously, I rock with YG. You know, just been so many people that have lost their lives over there. That have built up that scene. So yeah, it's sad to see them all beefing like that and for Top 5 to go out that way. But yeah, who knows, man? Maybe you know, if he has a real big viral moment and maybe it might be worth your while. Maybe it'll still happen one day.